beautiful stars. I hope that you're doing so well today. If you're new here, welcome to my little slice of pie here on the internet. And today's video is going to be a book recommendations video. And I haven't done one of these yet, and I was in the shower, of course, and I was like, why don't I do it but like horror / spooky supernatural novel edition, so that it fits with my Molli-Ween series on my channel, which Molli-Ween is fall and Halloween related content that I upload for the months of September and October. And I've been slacking this year, so I'm like, dude, gotta think of something fun. So if you like books, or maybe you even don't, but you wanna maybe try to get into them, this is the video for you. So these are supernatural / fall Halloween related books that remind me of Halloween or the fall season. The first thing is I'm gonna have recommendations and rating them and just kind of give you a little tidbit of what I liked about them, what they're maybe a little bit about. Not give you too much information though. And then I'll also, at the end of this video, wrap it up with with books that I plan on reading this season. Starting off, I have My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This is my first Grady Hendrix book that I've read, and I plan on reading other ones. I know that he has some pretty good ones out there. This one I heard isn't everybody's favorite, but it is definitely also a fan favorite at the same time, if that makes sense. Like, some people said that it wasn't as good as his other books, but that like they didn't feel the relationship was as good with the friends as they've read in his other books. But personally, I give it like a 4.5 out of 5. I don't know, like a part of me really liked the book, and then it was hard for me to get into it at the same time, so that's why I just knocked it a little bit. I personally really liked how he wrote the friends in this book. It was set in the 80s, so the vibes were immaculate. And what I caught on was that each chapter was named after like an 80s song or like some type of 80s saying. At least most of the time it was, which I thought was really cool, a nice little touch. And then of course, look at the cover. It's like an old VHS, which is really cool. It has like the Be Kind Rewind sticker at the top. And I was ecstatic. I found this on Mercari. I didn't buy this brand new, and I'm definitely gonna keep this and reread it because it was a book that I definitely see myself reading more and more times, or time and time again, if I can speak. This is a good one, 80s vibes. I personally like the friendships. I kind of connected to the friendships in this book with Gretchen and Abby. I forgot the other girl's name for a second, but I read this in August, and it was my first horror book. I've read supernatural ones, but this was like my first one, and it actually gave me such spooky vibes, so definitely give it a try if you haven't yet. My next one, I couldn't find it. It has to be somewhere in my bookshelf, but it's Jenny Green's Killer Junior Year. I'll pop it up on the screen. This is like the first murder crime mystery book that I read, and I was in 5th grade. My grandma bought it for me at this bookstore we used to go to together in the mall, and it's no longer there, unfortunately. And I just thought it looked good on the cover. It looked interesting. She's holding a knife, and I was like, cool. And then I grabbed it, and the first page says the B word on it, which I'm not saying it on YouTube because I'm not sure about the YouTube rules, but I was like sitting there for independent reading time in 5th grade. I'm like, because I never swore, and I just was like, oh my gosh. And I got so interested in the book right away. I give this a 5 out of 5, but I haven't read this since middle school because I reread it 3 or 4 times after. A few of my friends have read it since me telling them about it. Really liked it. It was co-written, so there was 2 writers to it, and there was some, like, from what I remember, comedic relief a little bit here and there. It reminded me of Dexter in a way, like the show. It was like you almost want to root for her in the end, but she was a serial killer. So it's like, why am I rooting for her? Because it's how she's like wording it. She makes it seem like it's right what she's doing, but obviously it's not. If you like shows like Dexter or You or anything like that, and I know You is a book too, you might like this book, and it definitely is a little spooky, so I would just give you that little tidbit. The next one is a classic, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I just finished this a couple weeks ago. For the first time ever, I'm reading the Harry Potter series with my friends, and we're on the 2nd book now, which is exciting. I thrifted the whole series either at garage sales or at Goodwill and other places. I really like this book. I think that it's such a fun one. I know I'm not the only one reading it right now. I think it gives people such a fall winter vibe, so it's the perfect time to read it. It's really cozy, and it's so magical that it's really easy to read it. You could probably read it in one sitting if you don't want to like split it up. And I usually read at least like 1 chapter a night. Right now we set like a couple chapters each week so that we can stay on the same track and not get too far ahead of each other. So we did 3 chapters for the first week, and maybe we'll move it up as the weeks go on. But yeah, I really like this series, and I've always been a huge fan of the movies. I used to see them with my dad growing up, so it's really magical and a heartwarming thing for me. So being able to read these is really fun. So if you want like a little read for your inner child slash just something magical, this is a good one. I rate it 5 out of 5 because I love Harry Potter. And if you haven't gotten into Harry Potter at all, if you like Lord of the Rings or any supernatural stuff in general, I think this is something you would like. If you have kids too, I know that they sell ones with actual like pictures in them, and I think it's at Target, so you could read it with your kids. And my last one, which I just randomly grabbed while I was looking for all these books to show you, is this Most Haunted Places book. So I'm not going to just like recommend this book in general or like in specific, but I think like reading a Most Haunted Places book or Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, anything like that is so fun and kind of bone chilling. So I always love these. I give them like a 4 out of 5. I think they're always really fun, and they're really easy to read because they're usually just, it goes by the place, and so they're like shorter stories, and it's fun to get a little history if you like history like I do. A good one, this one is by Jeff Bellinger, and wow, sassy. So now moving on to books that I am looking forward to reading this season slash like I guess the rest of the year really. I'm really excited about these. So first, really exciting news is I thrifted I promise it wasn't a cat that fell, like a TV monitor thing, so not a big deal. Okay, so back to the good news. I finally found the last book of the Sookie Stackhouse novels at the thrift store, and I thrifted the entire series as well, which is exciting. I'm looking forward to reading Livin' Dead in Dallas. I think this is the first one. I looked online and I believe this is the first one. And basically it follows pretty similarly to the show True Blood, which I binged in like 3 weeks on HBO Max. This is the book series that's based off of. I heard that the books are obviously going to be like a little bit different from the show. I'm looking forward to it because I really did like the movie or the show, that I think I'll like the books. And then I found this in my little free library book video that I did just last week, and it's Charmed Bones by Carolyn Haynes. I love the cover art. I think it's so fun, and it's a mystery, so I think that'll be really cool. And I love obviously something kind of witchy. It'll be fun to kind of get that vibe in there. I thrifted this a while ago, but it's Stephen King's Pet Sematary. I did a video, so if you want to watch that, I'll link it up in the cards. But I thrift most of my books or get them at little libraries, so this was a really fun thrifted find. It's from the 80s, a good little paperback copy of it. And Stephen King's books are quite the heavy read. I mean, this isn't too bad, but 400 pages. So it's like if I want to dedicate the time, I gotta, you know, just do it at the right timing. But I've heard this book is really terrifying, so I'm gonna see how scary it is, especially since I've gotten more into like the horror genre, I guess, of books. And with that, I have another Stephen King book. I found it the other day, literally freaked out in the aisle. My friend was with me. She's like, what? And I was like, I found it. I've been looking for this book forever. I think the cover art is so creepy, and they got good old King in the back there. And I've heard that, oh, somebody has their information stuck in here. I just found somebody's Red Cross information, so I'm gonna throw that away for them. I like the movies, the 1991 and then also the newer one. I finally watched both parts, and I was freaked out. So I think the book will be a fun one to read. The next book is Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman. I also got the Rules of Magic, which is the second book, and I am so excited because Practical Magic is my favorite movie. I love it so much, and I know that this book is just gonna be so magical. And again, I love reading like books that were adapted into movies because I think that it's so cool to see how different they are and kind of compare the two. That is everything that I recommend slash books that I plan on reading this season. If you have any recommendations for me based off of the ones that I showed you today, definitely comment them down below. Let me know if you like any of Grady Hendrix's other books. I've got my eye on the Final Girl support group. Let me know if you've read those, what you thought of them, because I'm really interested. I did like Best Friend's Exorcism, so yeah, thank you so much again for watching. I'll see you in my next one, and until then, shine bright and stay spooky. Bye!